Good morning, everyone. I hope that you are doing well. I hope that you are healthy and safe. And everyone that you care about and love, I hope that they are also healthy and safe this morning. We get to talk about a very interesting Torah portion this week. It's called Emor, which means say. It's very interesting, and there's a lot of components to it. There's a whole section dedicated to the priests and the priests' behavior only. There's also this very long and beautiful discussion regarding different holidays. All of our Jewish holidays, it talks about Shavuot and gives connections to Pesach and to Sukkot. It's really intricate, lots of components. Sometimes Torah portions, particularly in the book of Leviticus, we're in the book of Leviticus. So particularly in the book of Leviticus, there are longer sections and it's harder to delineate different components. But this week, there's a lot of different moving pieces. But perhaps the most interesting piece is this couple of sentences at the beginning of the section that talks about the holidays. Remember, I told you there are all these holidays, but there's this one holiday that happens the most often, and that one is, come on everyone, say it with me, yay, Shabbat. Excellent. Shabbat, as you know, happens every week, and so there's a concept in Judaism that the more frequent, the more holy. So Shabbat takes precedent because it happens every week for us. And there's a very small section at the beginning of the holiday area in this week's Torah portion that says this. I'm going to read it to you right from the Torah. It says, on 6 days work may be done, but on the seventh day there shall be a Sabbath of complete rest, a sacred occasion. It says, you shall do no work. It shall be a Sabbath of God throughout your settlements, throughout everywhere you live, essentially, is what it says. So, of course, the question is this: what is work? That's what the rabbis asked, because it says, you shall do no work. But what is work? Is work meaning like going to work, putting on our suits or dresses or whatever we wear to go to work? What is it that we wear to go to work? Is that what work is? Is work like, hard labor? Very, very difficult to understand. And so it really takes a long time up until the Mishnah, right around 200 CE, to help us figure out what work is. And the image here you can see right next to me is one of the things that we're not allowed to do. We're not allowed to do this thing in the picture to my left. Trying to make sure, it's hard to with these zoom things to tell which direction I'm really in. Anyway, this particular thing that's happening behind me over here is not allowed to be done on Shabbat. This thing right here. It's called winnowing. You are not allowed to do any winnowing on Shabbat. It is one of the 39 categories of things that you are not allowed to do on Shabbat. Because if you do them, it is as if you are breaking Shabbat. So winnowing, which is this photo behind me, is one of the things you cannot do. Now, there are 38 other things, and I want to list them for you. So there are things like, wait a second. I'm not going to tell them to you now. You're going to have to wait just a few minutes, not too long, right? Because it's, it's like 9 something right now. So not too long from now, giving you enough time to get up, get a little stretch in, have maybe get your coffee ready, and then come back and join me at 9:30, not that long from now. Join me Their Zoom link is somewhere around here, thanks to the awesome marketing team here at the congregation. Hit that little link, and then we can talk more about winnowing and other things we are not allowed to do on Shabbat, according to this week's Torah portion and more. Again, don't forget, this is going to end in a moment. I know you're terribly sad about that. This is going to end in a moment, and then you're going to have a chance to stretch, meet you back, 9:30 Zoom link for us to talk about this a little bit further, the prohibitions of Shabbat, including winnowing. I'll see you soon.